Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys on a BetCast Tuesday, December the 10th. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and Ryan Robinson filling in for his older brother today, ready to break down the Tuesday NHL card. It is a big one, as it often is. We've got 11 games on tap on this Tuesday night. Looking forward to that. And you know damn well we are also, of course, looking forward to tonight's live BetCast. And it is coming your way at 7 p.m. Eastern time. There you see it. On the screen tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. We've already gotten some requests to send the StreamYard link for the BetCast to those wanting to join us here tonight. Chris Otto is in tonight at some point on the BetCast. We're looking forward to having Chris on it with the.
We might have a couple of guests tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, everyone wants a piece now. It's the final BetCast of the year for 2024. Now, again, that's the year. People have always, someone messaged me this morning and said, I can't believe you're not doing another BetCast this season. No, the year. Calendar year, everybody. Relax, breathe.
We got to
breathe, guys. It's going to be okay. We're going to have BetCasts in January and beyond.
A hell of a lot more. Yeah.
Exactly. So someone thought when I said that's it for the year, it's in the hockey year. No. We will have multiple BetCasts, in fact, January and beyond, including some Patreon exclusive live BetCasts. Another reason why you got to be signed up, $10 per month at patreon.com/iceguys for that. But this is our last BetCast for this year. We will have them in January and beyond. So again, tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, join us. It's a bar and a pub vibe, drinking, watching the games, placing live bets, hopefully winning like we did the last BetCast, which was very profitable. So again, DM or email me or Alex for a spot on the BetCast tonight, and we'll make sure you're able to join us here during the BetCast starting tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Not going to spend too much time on Monday because I really want to get into Tuesday's card, but it's actually a decent Monday, profitable again. It's good to see for a short slate. Yeah. We had a piece of the over and the draw with Detroit and Buffalo. Crazy game that turned out to be. 6-5 Red Wings. Brutal loss again for Buffalo. My goodness, they're up 5-3 in the third period. They cannot close that game. Seeing it's basically blah, 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 verbal vomit. I keep hearing from Tage Thompson and others after the game last night saying, we're scared to make plays when we have the lead. It's a crisis of confidence with the Sabres right now. There's no question about that. And you're up 5-3 against a team that's really struggling almost as much as you are right now. And you can't bring that game home. Red Wings get the win 6-5 in a shootout. And Lucas Raymond, man, he ends up getting one of the shootout goals. It was Dylan Larkin that got the winning shootout goal. He scores one of the goals during the game as well, which I believe tied it at 3 at the time. I mean, Lucas Raymond has done everything possible to give his team a chance, even during their recent struggles, continues to play well. It was a phenomenal. I didn't bet many props last night, but every prop hit. And if you look at the Patreon page, it was a clean sweep for player props for me last night. Nice. We had Lucas Raymond in this game. We also, in the Chicago game, I tailed Alex with his bargain bin special of the night with Tyler Bertuzzi for the Chicago Blackhawks. Congratulations to Anders Sorensen. And his first NHL win as a head coach last night, a 2-1 grinder. Blackhawks found a way, though, to get it done 2-1 against the Rangers. They're now 2-0 to the first period over. Full game, unfortunately, does stay under. But the Blackhawks found a way. It was another solid effort in net from Arvid Soderblom, and the Blackhawks did just enough offensively to get a 2-1 win against the struggling New York Rangers. Another frustrated Peter Laviolette in the press conference after the game is now not calling out the effort, calling out the execution now. Like, we're just not making plays at all. It's like we forgot how to make good, crisp, fundamentally sound plays with the puck. And it's true. When you watch the Rangers right now, it's exactly what we saw last night. The playmaking. Where's getting in position to get a good scoring chance? We're not seeing it right now consistently from the Rangers. So, like I said, a nice win there for Chicago. I know Alex is happy, and I'm sure he'll talk about that in a moment. And then Anaheim-Montreal, very entertaining game. It goes to a shootout. The Canadians get the job done there, 3-2 in a shootout. We had a piece of Montreal money line. Team total falls short, but we did get Montreal money line. And we mentioned Alex with his bargain bin cashing in, and so did mine. Lane Hutson, power play point at plus 375. And it did not take long as he assists on the Patrick Laine power play goal in the first period of that game. Man, he is fun to watch. I mean, he just dances with the puck on his stick, Lane Hutson. I mean, this has got, I don't want to put the fucking Bobby Orr, Ray Bourque type of, comparison on him, because Bobby Orr's an all-timer. Ray Bourque's an all-timer. Paul Coffey is an all-timer, but he's got those kind of skills with the puck as a defenseman right now, Lane Hutson. And he's going to be a real fun player to watch. And if I'm Montreal, I should already be excited he's on your team. You should even be more excited when you see performances like he's had so far this year, including last night. No doubt about that. Bobby Orr scored goals. Exactly. Po Buddy's Nerfic. That's the one major difference between the two. Lane Hutson's still looking for his first goal this season. Wait till that. But he's got that in his arsenal. He's got that in his toolbox, in my opinion. It's just a question of finding the opportunities and converting when you get those chances. But Montreal, a nice win. I like the way the Canadians are playing right now, actually. It's been a nice little run for them. Alex, your thoughts on last night? And I know you're a happy Hawks fan seeing Anders Sorensen get his virgin victory as a head coach.
Absolutely. That was just a fantastic game. And not only to seeing Sorensen getting his first win, but like I said, his fellow countryman, with Arvid Soderblom, just another absolutely stellar start in net, start to finish, making big saves when he needed to, especially late in the third. The power play late in that period, and when the Rangers pulled the empty net, they were firing off shots left and right, and Soderblom was standing tall, making saves, following and tracking where the puck is. All the issues that we bitched about, or I should say I bitched about for 2 years, there's so many things that have been cleaned up in his game. If this league had a most improved player award, he would certainly be at the top of the list. You have to make him a favorite. Like, what we're seeing now from Arvid Soderblom is leaps and bounds from what we saw the majority of the last 2 years. Now, I'm not saying that this guy's ready to be the number one starter. He's just there by default, by double default, because of a couple of injuries. But it's just amazing to see that he's made these improvements, and the fact that he's able to step up in a game where the Hawks needed him to step up, knowing that Mrazek was hurt. Get your countryman and get the new coach a win, and take advantage of a struggling Rangers team. They are in bad shape, and I don't know what the hell they're going to do to get things, turned around. But that was equal parts good Hawks win, but really, really bad Rangers showing at home. We talked about it yesterday. I said, it's a scary spot. I didn't like taking the Hawks money line because I know a Rangers game on a Monday night at home, it can be kind of sleepy, and all of a sudden the Rangers pop up with 5 goals. We've seen that happen more times than not. But right now, I can't touch this Rangers team with a 10-foot pole. It's fade or nothing. And that's crazy to say with a team that I know we both like to win the East, possibly win the Stanley Cup. They don't look like a team that can even make the playoffs right now. So troublesome times in Manhattan. And then that game with Anaheim and Montreal, I think we might have to make a new rule. If I like a regulation side, we should probably play the draw, because this has happened to me twice in the last 2 weeks where I've gotten bit looking that a team could win in 60, and then the game goes not only to overtime, but a shootout. So that was a little disappointing, but did cash the draw with Detroit, and like I said, another bargain bin winner with Mr. Bertuzzi.
We're gonna have to change our opinion if we're a little off, not off. We weren't off at the time. Alex B. Smith was not off at the time, trashing Arvid Soderblom the way he did. He was terrible at that time, for a large period of time, right? But give him credit. He's worked at his craft clearly, and he's playing the best stretch of hockey in between the pipes that he's played in his career, and we will acknowledge that. That's all it is.
I mean, still keep in mind.
Yeah.
No, still keep in mind. That was his 9th victory of his career in 50-something starts. So what I'm saying is right. He sucked, and he's getting better. That's it.
Exactly. No doubt. He's getting I'm not just a little bit better now, a lot better, because he's had a lot of really solid outings. I still remember the Winnipeg game where he did everything he could early in the year to give them a chance against the Jets in Winnipeg, and if not for lack of goals, they could have won that game.
And it's back to where the goals he's getting beat on are goals that no goalie is stopping. That's the huge thing too. If you go back and just watch any game with Soderblom last season, year before, you'll see goals where he's out of position. He doesn't know where the puck is. You see him. There's a bunch of times he's facing the net when the puck's in the back. So all those little small things have turned into big things because he's been able to correct how he can position himself, how he moves up, and how he tracks the puck. It's huge, huge difference.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Yeah, Kali Speta, Tim. We don't know what's going on right now with the New York Rangers, other than they're just in a bad. There's something going on behind the scenes. There's something going on behind the scenes. I know I heard Pierre Maguire talk about this with Jimmy. I think it was maybe not yesterday, but late last week on one of the eye test shows. There's something wrong. There's something going on behind this. There's some vibes that are festering in that dressing room right now. And I think there's maybe a clash. There's some dissension. This is not just all. I think they're playing poorly. I think there's some. I don't think, and a lot of people are saying this. People say what you will about Trouba and the struggles and the defensive issues. This was the captain of the Rangers being treated like utter garbage out the door by management. Say what you will, whether it was deserving or not. This is management treating Jacob Trouba, the captain of this team the last few years, like an absolute dog shit. And you can say what you want about his struggles. The players and his teammates really love Jacob Trouba from everything I've heard. Sticking up for teammates, big hit in open ice when you needed a spark of some kind. And I think there's not a lot of love for the way it was handled, in my opinion. That's what a lot of people that are closer connected to the Rangers is what I'm hearing. Are the people I'm hearing regarding that are saying that. So I think that may be playing a part in it too, quite honestly. Maybe the Jacob Trouba departure is not going to be the bump for the Rangers that maybe we thought, that they just didn't love the way the whole thing played out, and including last year when it became public. And that's really when you've got issues. And this falls on Drury and the management. You can't let this kind of stuff become public and become like dirty laundry out in public like that, involving your captain of all people. And no wonder it's going to rub some people the wrong way and cause some bad vibes internally with the team inside that dressing room. Ryan, any thoughts you had on last night?
Yeah, not a lot. It was a small card. The only one I had that ended up being a winner was the over in the Detroit-Buffalo game. Thought there could be some goals in that, and I think it was 3-2 in the first period or after the first, whatever it was. So that was nice. Other than that, just watched the Cowboys game. I like to be disappointed, so I decided to put myself through that torture. Wasn't fun. But yeah, I didn't have a ton last night.
A football game with a punt on the punt that they blocked. They blocked it, and they lost on it because of it.
Yeah. Team coached by Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
So that was frustrating. That was I bet on the Bengals, so at least that hit. But other than that, it was a small card. I didn't really have a lot. I was saving it for today. I really like today's card, so I'm excited to get into that.
To just make a point about that game with Bengals and Cowboys, and just how sometimes you just get lucky. I, of course, listen to BetQL Daily every morning with our friend Sammy P, Joe Ostrowski, and Sammy liked CeeDee Lamb anytime touchdown. So I bet that, and then I was like, I just threw another $5 on CeeDee Lamb first touchdown. It cashes, but I didn't watch any of the football game until like the second half, so I had no idea until I checked my account and I go, oh wait, what the hell is that? And I go, oh yeah, right. I had CeeDee Lamb. So I had 11-1 for first touchdown and plus 150 cash in. So sometimes it's just better to listen to somebody else smarter than you with a certain angle and just roll with it.
I had him and Chase at plus each of them 60 plus yards, and that hit easy in the first half. So that was nice. But
yeah,
back to hockey.
Yeah, back to hockey. Enough with the bad football teams, and let's talk about some hockey instead, no doubt. And it's not like Cincinnati was any better. There's any better this year. I mean, they've obviously had their issues as well, no doubt. All right, let's get into this Tuesday slate. It's a big one. It's a great slate for a betcast, of course, tonight. We're looking forward to that. We'll begin with the Sheldon Keefe Bowl. Chief versus Keefe, part 2. How about that? Toronto and New Jersey. We've got New Jersey minus 135, home favorites, 6 the total in this game. Of course, they played each other the second game of the season for Toronto. I think it was New Jersey's third game because they had played the 2 games in Czechia against Buffalo previously. But they played it really early in the year in October. Leafs got a 4-2 victory in that game over the Devils. The Leafs back-to-back losses over the weekend against the Capitals at home, the Penguins on the road, looking to bounce back from that. Obviously, New Jersey coming off a 4-0 shutout loss to the Colorado Avalanche. You guys already know We've got the system play in effect here for this particular game tonight between the Leafs and the Devils, with New Jersey coming off that shootout loss to the Colorado Avalanche. Scott Wedgwood kind of haunting his old team in that game. He was terrific. We're now at 33-19 for first period over, 31-15-6 for the full game over with the system play here. And the only thing that concerns me is Toronto's been a huge first period under team, one of the bigger first period under teams in the NHL. But I think, the system's been great. New Jersey, Toronto, the first meeting actually went over in the first period. The full game total was a push. I think the total was 6 in that game, and it landed on 6, 4-2. So I do like the over by Fecta, first period over, full game over. This is another one, though, where I like the first period over a little bit more. And that's, I'm disappointed I went with full game over for best bet with the Hawks game instead of first period over last night. But I do like the first period over more than the full game over. As far as the side goes, Toronto's going to want to play well. They've lost 2 in a row, and I know New Jersey's going to want to play a lot better at home off a home shutout loss. So don't really want to get involved with a side in this game, but I do like the over by Fecta riding that system. Alex, what do you think here? Leafs, Devils.
So I grabbed the over 6 earlier today, but I'm waiting for the betcast to grab the over 1.5. I'll we can jump in. That'll probably be the first thing we do as we go to air, at least for me. We'll be trying to grab that as soon as it goes to even just down to about $1.10, anywhere in the pick'em range. That's what I'm shooting for. Like you said, a little worrisome because of the fact that Toronto, has been a huge first period under team. We can kind of use that to our advantage in the fact that, okay, they play slow. They, control the pace in the first 5 minutes. Shouldn't get any goals. We should be able to get some good value with the over for the full game and first period over. So small play on over 6. We'll look to jump on the over by Fecta officially in game on the betcast tonight. But like I said, I don't want to side here either. May sprinkle on a draw, but this might be one of those where we could probably, like I said, if we do end up getting goals back and forth later, maybe we could find a draw in game as well.
Yeah, no doubt. So it's a good live betting game too as well, no question. Ryan, what do you think here? Toronto, New Jersey.
Yeah, I'm going to be with you guys on that as well. I know probably lean first period under, people were saying in the chat. I took Toronto. I forget who they were playing. If it was wasn't last game. Let's see. I was on the first period over with them against Washington a few nights ago, and there were so many chances. Each team had like 2 power plays in the first. They missed a breakaway. They hit a couple posts. So the chances were there. They just couldn't seem to finish. I like the first period over in this one. I also see it's kind of been a Toronto-dominated series. It looks like New Jersey is 3-7 in their last 10 against Toronto, but I don't hate this spot in terms of New Jersey money line. Being at home, they lost last game. They're going to want to bounce back. Although Toronto's coming off 2 losses. So I lean New Jersey money line. I haven't taken it yet. I'll see how the first period starts, but I will think I'm going to be in that first period over with you guys, especially on the betcast. Maybe wait 3-4 minutes into the game, see if there hasn't been any goals yet, and then jump in live. So that's pretty much in terms of sides and totals. I also will be looking at some Jack Hughes points. Even possibly 2+ goals. He's at plus 1,000. I've been hitting with Hughes fairly often when I've been on the show, so I'm going to look at some of his props. But that's all for me in terms of this game. Not touching the total over or anything like that.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen how they've done our boy Stefan Nason the last couple of games? He's been right at the bargain bin cut of $2.90.
Yep, I know.
Second game I've noticed that.
We're not getting those great prices. No question about that. With that. Anthony Stolarz, the native of Edison, New Jersey. So he is playing like close to home. He's getting this start. I know he'll be fired up. He'll have family and friends in attendance. Put it this way. I lean Toronto. I do. Both teams are like Toronto's off 2 losses. Toronto's going to be, amped up here especially with their goalie playing close to home. But I don't like fading New Jersey, rushing to fade New Jersey coming off getting shut out at home. And they're going to want to play well here. And they also know they lost the first time Keith played against his old team. So I think they're going to bring it too. I will say this. I lean Toronto. Toronto's trailing at any point in this game. This is going to be a live bet for me on Toronto at some point during the betcast tonight. Let's say it gets to 1-0 Jersey, 2-1 New Jersey, you name it. We're going to be able to get, plus 200 or better maybe with the Leafs at that point. we're going to get involved with Toronto live during the betcast. I lean that way as it is. You got them on the road. Yeah, and plus New Jersey's still a very erratic home team. I've said it all year, it feels like, many a time. I just prefer betting New Jersey on the road. They're a 7-8 mediocre team at home. They're 11-4 on the road. They've been a much better road team this year than New Jersey Devils. So I lean Toronto pregame, but it's going to be one of these deals with the betcast. I'm going to see if I can get Toronto trailing at some point and get a better price with the Leafs during the betcast live.
And just quickly with Stolarz, his history against the Devils in 6 meetings, 1-1-1 with a 2.38 goals against and a 9.26 save percentage. So no, nothing glaring either way with that record.
Yeah, no doubt. We're going to have to see. Max Domi's close to a return, but hasn't been confirmed in as of yet. We'll see if he's able to return. And plus, Bobby McMahon's close to returning as well. Looks like Jake McCabe might still be out for at least one more game here tonight, but the Leafs are closing in on getting all 3 of those guys back. All right, Philadelphia and Columbus. We've got the Flyers minus 120 road favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. Philly losing to Utah the other night by a score of 4-2. That was the return of Samuel Ersson. First game back, probably not his best, but he's probably going to get better now as he gets more games under his belt. He's already been confirmed in for the Flyers tonight. Elvis Merzlikins will get the start here in this game tonight for the Columbus Blue Jackets. We talked about how Columbus feasted on a brutal spot for Winnipeg Sunday in that 4-1 victory over the Winnipeg Jets. Kind of the shoe on the other foot syndrome here for Columbus tonight because they're in a pretty tricky spot now. 5-game road trip. They played December 1st, 3rd, 5th, 6th, and 8th through those 5 games at Chicago. Then out west, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, Winnipeg, the Western Canadian swing. So you look at this now. This is going to be their 6th game in 10 and first game back home after that. So it's a very, very troubling, or not troubling, but it's a long trip. I think it's a Flyer spot. No doubt. A Flyers team that I know they've lost 3 in a row, but Florida, pretty competitive. 4-3 where Kolosov blew it, who's not been good. They had a nice 3-1. Let's not forget, they were up 3-1 against the Bruins and lost in overtime. And then the Utah game, like I said, it was even in shots. Utah just was more opportunistic. They didn't play that poorly. It was a pretty even game. I think Ersson will be sharper now with a game under his belt tonight. And they've been pretty solid on the road of late, the Flyers. So I'm going to go with a split here, first period and full game on the Flyers, because I think the first period they could jump on Columbus a little bit coming back off that road trip. The only fear I have is Jackets have a very good home record at Nationwide Arena. That being said, this is still a very, very poor spot for them coming off that 5-game roadie. So Flyers first period, Flyers full game split for me in this game. And I'll keep those bets small, as in very small pregame. And what I will do is, again, just like I talked about with the last game, if the Jackets get a lead at some point, we'll add on with a little bit more Philadelphia. That's going to be the approach with the betcast taking place here tonight. What do you think here, Alex? Flyers, Blue Jackets.
So I like this first period over more than the full game over. So I will have, pretty much, I'd say half unit on the full first period over, quarter unit on the full game going in pregame, and then we'll look to add and adjust accordingly live. But I also like the draw pregame. I grabbed plus 330. That was at Bet Online early this morning. Shop around for the best price. Like I said, MGM has been your best bet for the highest prices with the draw prices. So draw and just a half unit, quarter unit looks on the full game and first period overs. We'll be adding more on the betcast tonight.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to tack on first period over because I just remembered just off the. I was like, you know what? Columbus is on this first period over run.
8-2. The last
yeah. 8-2. And by the way, they could be out of sorts defensively. First game coming back off the road, back home. Sometimes you're sloppy. And yeah, I could see some goals early. Maybe it settles down after that, but definitely in the first 2 periods, I could see some goals early. So that first period over makes sense. Again, 8 of the last 10 Columbus games have gone over in the first period. Ryan, what do you think here? Flyers, Jackets.
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to stay off this game. I think pregame, this is kind of a pass for me. Not too interested in the game, and with the privilege of having such a big card tonight and the betcast, I'm just going to stay off it and pick my spots that I like. So nothing pregame here for me.
Yeah, on a night when we're doing the betcast, we're gonna have a lot of live bets going, and it's a big card. You don't have to flood the board. That is for sure.
If there's something we like on the betcast, I'll certainly hop in. But pregame, I'm just gonna stay off and kind of see the game flow, how it goes.
Yeah, no, I don't. Nothing wrong with that at all. Joel Farabee on the top line. I do think there's value. Of course, Mishkov's been good. I'm rocking with KJ as well for Columbus. Kent Johnson. He's really starting to heat up for the Blue Jackets of late. And I think from a goal prop standpoint, he's absolutely worth a look in that game here tonight. All right, San Jose and Carolina. We have Kakalaki, the Hurricanes, minus 500. I'm seeing as high as minus 550 at DraftKings with the Hurricanes as a home favorite in this game. 6.5 the total here in this matchup. That's just an insane price. I know it's Carolina versus San Jose, but I always say in this sport, no one really should ever be a minus 500 to minus 550 favorite when bounces of the puck can happen, that kind of thing. So, like I said, it's concerning that they're this big of a favorite. Now, Carolina has won 5 straight versus the San Jose Sharks, 3-0 last year. 2 years ago, though, they got taken overtime in this building by San Jose, and the Sharks or the Hurricanes ended up with a 5-4 win in that game. Again, the big trade for San Jose and Mackenzie Blackwood, who we've taken some pot shots at over the years. We actually think he's played well this year, and he has. He's played probably some of his best hockey of his career this year for the San Jose Sharks. He gets dealt, obviously, to the Colorado Avalanche, where he'll form that tandem with Wedgwood, which means it leaves Vitek Vanacek and Alexander Georgiev now with the San Jose Sharks as their 2 goalies. The first thing I'm looking at is team totals over and full game overs with teams against San Jose, because this is just as weak a tandem now as you can ask for in the NHL, especially Vanacek, the way he's played. He has really had a tough season for the San Jose Sharks. And keep in mind, he was previously with Washington and New Jersey, who had better teams in front of him than this San Jose group. He's given up 5 goals in each of his last 2 starts. He gave up 5 to Tampa in that 8-1 thrashing against the Lightning. He gave up 5 goals in the 8-5 game against the Seattle Kraken. So this is absolutely a Carolina team that should be able to get rolling offensively, even though all of a sudden, they've scored 2 goals or 3 goals or less in 4 of their last 5 games, 1-4 in their last 5, and they were held to 3 goals. This is a team that for the longest time, they were getting to 4 goals. We know what the overall run still is for Carolina, scoring at least 4 goals, which is why I've been betting their team total over so much the last month or so. It's still 17-6 for Carolina, scoring 4 goals or more in the last 23 games. I think they get back to 4 goals minimum here tonight. Now, the team total at most books is 4.5, so I'm going to go the BetMGM route and get over 4 with Carolina here tonight in this game. And that way, if they get exactly 4 goals, we'll just get a push. But I think they could push for 5 or 6, quite honestly, here in this game tonight if they're locked in. And they're off the loss to the New York Islanders, too. And like I said, just 1-4 in their last 5 games as well, entering tonight. So I'm definitely looking at that Carolina team total. Again, over 4 is minus 140. That's not bad. And like I said, I'm definitely interested as well in over 6.5 here in this game. So we'll go those 2 routes. Canes team total over 4, over 6.5 with Sharks and Hurricanes. Alex, what do you think here? San Jose, Carolina.
This is going to be a pass for me because this line is just outrageous. And I woke up this morning seeing this, and I'm scouring, thinking, like, were there just a bunch of injuries to San Jose? Like, on what grounds would Carolina, like I said, especially the way they've kind of struggled the last couple games, be laying 500, 530 at FanDuel? That's asinine. And like I said, everything's standard 4.5 on your team totals unless you go to MGM. So no, I want nothing to do with this. I'm like, do I even want to take 2.5 minus $1.10 with the Sharks? That's probably the closest thing I would come to betting right here. But this is going to be a complete pass. I may not even bet anything when we watch this live tonight.
Yeah, that first period team total, Rocco's a good look too. I think early to strike for 2. Carolina does that a lot when they're pissed and they're off a loss, and they're not going to take a weaker team lightly. It's crazy how often they get 2 goals in the opening period. So I think, Rocco, I'm going to add that plus, especially when it's +1. I'm even seeing plus 170 at some spots for that over 1.5 team total in the first period for Carolina, that they can jump on the Sharks early, get 2 on the board early in the hockey game. And by the way, last year, I want to point out, last year in Carolina, 3-0 Carolina. It was 2-0 Carolina after the first period. So, yeah, that 2-0 correct score, Aaron. Bingo. It's exactly what my eyes were starting to light up when I saw 2-0. I could see 2-0 Carolina after the first period. So that correct score, 2-0 Carolina first period. That might be worth a look. Tara Vinen got 2 goals, of course, in that game. He's no longer there, of course. He's with Chicago. But it was Kokkonen, I remember, in that game for San Jose, and they did get on the board early with those 2 goals in that game. As far as props go, yes, I know it's Brent Burns, of course, against the former team angle against San Jose. You could go in that direction. I don't mind it at all. But for Carolina, Jackson Blake, Jack Drury, and Eric Robinson, a newly formed second line by Rod Brindamore. Value galore on all 3 guys, as far as I'm concerned. Jackson Blake, Jack Drury, Eric Robinson, the newly formed second line for Carolina. I would take a shot with all 3 of them, and I think you got a chance to see 1 or 2 of them at least maybe find the back of the net here tonight in this game. Ryan, what do you think here? Sharks or go ahead, Alex. Yeah,
I was just gonna say, when you guys talk about the 2-0 correct score, 3-0 correct score, 2-0 correct score for Carolina at FanDuel would be plus 650. Now, just to kind of for reference, that's usually an 11-1, 12-1 kind of a prop. There is no 3-0 correct score. You'd have to just bet any other score, which would be plus 480. So you're not getting the kind of value you would with a normal kind of first period stack. So, like I said, value is being sucked out of this game, so tread lightly in that aspect.
So the Sharks gave up 35 shots to Tampa, 54 shots to Florida. My gosh, if they kind of give up those kind of shots tonight to Carolina with Vanacek and an angry Hurricanes team, that could be trouble. That being said,
projects for 70, right?
Yeah,
when you think about it, yeah.
This is a game to watch. If I see Carolina totally asleep though early in the game, I might jump on San Jose live just because. But I want to see how Carolina comes out first. Are they taking this game? They should. They're only 1-4 in their last 5 games. But if they're sleepy and they're letting San Jose kind of hang around, I'll be jumping in on San Jose live if I don't like what I'm seeing out of the Hurricanes. So it's another good situation for the betcast tonight to just watch to see how the Hurricanes look early in the game. Ryan, what do you think here? San Jose, Carolina.
Yeah, that minus 500 is crazy. I think the thing that sucks when it opens like that too, I saw it, when Dallas shit the bed against Anaheim a few weeks ago. Dallas was down like 3-1 or something halfway through the game, and they were still like minus 150 to win. So if San Jose is somehow up, 2-1 early or 2-0, Carolina's value still isn't going to be great. So I'm just staying off that. I might take a small shot with I like what Aaron mentioned, correct score plus 600, plus 650 for that 2-0. I do see on, I don't know if I'm going to do it, but on DraftKings, the 3-0, if you want to get really ballsy, is plus 1,300. So really just might take a small shot with that correct score over 2-0, as well as possibly Kane's team total first period over 1.5. Saw it at like plus 130, plus 135. That could be great value considering that they, haven't played great. They're going to be at home. They're going to want to, start fast. So staying off the sides and, the full game over, but I don't hate some of those first period props. I'm going to be looking to play those, especially live, depending on how these teams come out early.
Yeah, if your friend is betting, as Kenny Woo Woo says in the chat, if your friend is betting minus 500 on puck, then it's time for new friends. No, you don't abandon your friends, Kenny Woo Woo. You get them into some sort of betting rehab and say, stop fucking betting minus 500 favorites. Intervention is what you need. You don't abandon your friend.
I just put in the chat the line that one of my old bookies actually told me back in Chicago. Said the only way you lay minus 500 or higher is if you know the outcome of a fixed fight.
Yeah. There you go. That's it. And there's just a zero chance of it. And what the end result's going to be before it happens. Exactly. All right, Colorado and Pittsburgh. We've got the Avs minus 180 road favorites, I should say. 6.5 the total in this game. Scott Wedgwood getting the call once again in net for the Avs, who, of course, as we talked about just a moment ago, traded for Mackenzie Blackwood. So we've got the Wood, Wedgwood and Blackwood. Now the 2 goalies here for the Colorado Avalanche moving forward. But it will be Wedgwood coming off a very good shutout performance against his old team, the New Jersey Devils. Even his first start against Carolina, where they lost 5-3, it could have been worse if not for Scott Wedgwood. I thought he played well. I thought Colorado was terrible in that hockey game. So I thought even though he gave up 5 in that first game, it was a solid effort from Wedgwood in that game. I mean, Pittsburgh is playing some of their best hockey of the year, but some of it is schedule related. Toronto looked gassed. in the other night against the Penguins. The Rangers stink right now. The Florida game, don't be fooled by that. They got totally dominated, totally outplayed. 41-16 were the shots. And then, of course, Calgary, Boston, and Vancouver were the wins after that. Before that, they're playing better. Jari especially is playing better. There's no question about that. But it just feels like Colorado is the only way I would play it. But I'm not laying this price. What I am doing here is I'm going to take Colorado team total pregame over 3.5 minus 120. I think that's a solid bet. And I'm interested in Colorado money line, but not at this price. I will wait for the bet cast, and this is going to be another one of these deals where if the Penguins get a lead, we'll jump in live with the Colorado side at some point. I think Wedgwood, too, bet on type of goalie. I really do. And I think the fact he's playing on a better team, you watch, he's going to be able to give you some performances like he did the other night against New Jersey. So we'll see how that goes. But just a small piece of the team total pregame on Colorado, and I will be looking toward some sort of live bet on Colorado if they're trailing during the betcast tonight. What do you think here, Alex? Colorado, Pittsburgh.
Yep, the Woods era has officially begun in net for Colorado. We got Blackwood and Wedgwood, but we got Wedgwood going. Who's the better of the goalie? I have him, as I'm doing my goalie updates as we're talking, but I have him 15 cents better than Blackwood. And like I said, in this spot, I would definitely roll with you on that Avs team total over. Maybe I don't know, dabble on a shutout. Scott Wedgwood shutout. I don't play that prop often, but Pittsburgh's just, I mean, they're just one of these teams, especially when how many times have we seen them lay eggs on betcast nights too? Yeah. That's the thing that's kind of sticking in my head. It's
Colorado's not looked good in Pittsburgh the last 2 years either. That's
true.
Something we're pointing out. Yep.
That's true. That's true. But I think this could be just kind of a sloppy game in the low scoring way. So I'm not going to be doing much pregame. Like I said, team total over. I can see this being like kind of a 2-1 game, 2-1 Avs lead early, and then maybe they just run away with a couple empty netters. Or this could be a game, like I said, Wedgwood stands on his head, Avs get 4 goals, and they win 4-0. So it's definitely want to wait and have this. Is a good one for the betcast tonight.
Crosby always gets up for playing fucking McKinnon as well. There's no doubt about that. The fucking Tim Hortons bosom buddies there, doing all the Tim Hortons commercials here in Canada every single year. McKinnon and Crosby, the Cole Harbour boys, as I like to call it. Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia is where they're both from. As far as Colorado team total pregame, that's about it. There are some props I like, though, in this game. Obviously, Ross Colton, you got to look in his direction for sure. 100%. Chat's already onto it. He's on the second line. He scored against New Jersey in his second game back from injury. He's going to get an opportunity with Middlestat and Big Val on that second line. So I like that opportunity he's going to get. No question about that. Miles Wood, as we're waiting on his return. Drouin's still out. But, yeah, that's one of my favorite props in this game for sure is Ross Colton for the Colorado Avalanche, no doubt. What do you think here, Ryan, with the Avs and Pens?
Yeah, I do like that Colorado team total. Jari's been playing better. The Penguins have been a little bit better, but still not great. So I do like that Avs team total. There are a couple of props. Right before you mentioned that Crosby and McKinnon, from the same town, I was thinking McKinnon's been a little bit quiet lately, but he loves. They're both competitive, fiery guys, and they don't want to let the other one get the last word. So whenever they're playing each other, I look for them to come out, Crosby and McKinnon to come out hot, shooting the puck. So I do like McKinnon anytime goal. See like +110, +120. He hasn't scored in a couple games, I don't think, but given that he's playing Crosby, I do like that. So I like the Avs team total. I like that McKinnon small shot on McKinnon anytime goal scorer, as well as I might even ladder some of his shots just because he loves to shoot the puck. Yep. And then the last one I'm taking is Wedgwood. I see it was +27.5 at even money. It moved down to +26.5 or 26.5 at -115. So I'm going to hop on that. I love Wedgwood. I think he's solid back there. It seems like Pittsburgh has been averaging about 30 shots a game. So, they can definitely get that mark. I think he's been solid enough to, let in less than, 2 or 3 goals. So I'm going to take a small shot on Wedgwood just because, he's been solid and I like the spot for him. He's been good back there for Colorado, so I'm going to back him this game. But that's all for me in terms of pregame and props.
All right, good stuff there. All right. By the way, what I love too, we talk about Cole Harbor. It's kind of a cool town name that they're both from, Sidney Crosby and Nathan McKinnon. So one thing I love about this country, all the crazy, quirky city names and town names. Cole Harbor, Moose Jaw, White Horse, Yellow Knife. It's just there's so many different ones. Medicine Hat, that's one of my favorites. Yep. Medicine Hat, Alberta. I mean, there's some good ones here in this country as far as city names, town names you just won't hear anywhere else. All right, LA Kings and New York Islanders. We've got LA Kings minus 135, road favorites, 5.5 being the total here in this game. Now, this falls into one of our systems that we were late to realize. But betting against teams after defeating the Minnesota Wild is 7-1 this year. And guess who beat Minnesota in their last game? Yes, the LA Kings, which means bet on the Islanders is what that angle says here in this game tonight. And believe it or not, the Islanders don't look now. They've won 2 in a row here, this New York Islanders team. They beat the Ottawa Senators on the weekend, and then they upset Carolina on Saturday as well. So a couple of wins in a row. And as much as the only concern I would have with taking the Islanders is that the LA Kings are playing some really good hockey right now. It's been a great run for the Kings. They've won 5 in a row. 4 of those have been at home. They've been great at crypto this year, 10-2-1. They have not been so good on the road, 6-8, a losing record this year for the Los Angeles Kings on the road. And again, some of those wins too, like Ottawa, Anaheim, not always the most top flight competition. But then again, they also beat Winnipeg, Dallas, and Minnesota on that homestand. Those were very good victories for the LA Kings. They also have Darcy Kemper back, who's expected to be in net for this game, although it hasn't been confirmed yet. You're still dealing with some injuries on the blue line for the Islanders, Pelican, Riley, and now Mayfield day-to-day as well. So that's probably another concern you'd have with the Isles, is just how depleted they are on the back end at the moment. But at this price, I don't mind taking a shot here with the Islanders at plus 110, plus 115. I'm keeping it small, though. Kings are playing well. The Islanders do have some injuries on the blue line. I'm just betting it strictly because of the system here. 7-1 for teams after defeating Minnesota. 7-1 fading teams after defeating Minnesota in their next game. So Islanders plus 115. We'll sprinkle on the draw too. I mean, this Kings versus Islanders. Do you really see either of these teams gaining separation? Last year when they played here in this building at UBS Arena, it did go to overtime, 3-2 in favor of the Islanders. So I could see that again here. Give me a 3-2 Islanders win. I'd love it as someone that likes the Isles and the draw here in this game. Alex, what do you think here? Kings, Islanders.
So, yeah, we'll have a little fun with this. We'll take these. All these are very small, but these will be pregame bets. We will go with the draw, and we would go correct score 2-2 and correct score 3-3. We try and root them on the Betcast Live. So we have a little fun with this. This is not a game I'm really thrilled about. Like I said, if we look at anything side and total, it would be in game. But we'll have a little fun with the draw for the Betcast purposes.
No doubt. All right, what do you think here, Ryan? Kings, Islanders.
Yeah, this is one I'm pretty much staying off of in terms of totals. I am going to take a small shot with my guy, Alex Laferriere. He was my roommate in Des Moines for a bit. Still play Xbox with him. Good dude. So I'm looking to hit one of his props on the day that I'm on the show and hopefully get some luck like Matt has with Stefan Nason. So I'm going to take a small shot on him. I see he's like plus 280, plus 310 range. So I'm going to take a shot with Laugh. And then also I might take a small shot with first period Isles over half a goal. I see it at like minus 125. So I might take a small shot with that just because LA is, they had a long homestand. They're traveling to New York. So I look for the Islanders to maybe have a little bit of advantage in the first period. And then I'll just see from there. So that's pretty much all for me this game.
Kenny Wu in the chat asks how good is he on the sticks?
Yeah. He's pretty solid. He likes to say he's better than me at COD, but I don't know if that's true.
Nice.
We probably played 1,000 hours of Fortnite back when that game first came out, back when we were in junior hockey. So, yeah, good times.
Yeah, no doubt. There you go. He's got the connection. And by the way, he's not French Canadian. I've got to repeat that to some people. He's not. He's American. He's
Long Island kid.
Yeah, exactly. He's from the New York area there. Alex Laferriere. Got to keep correcting people on that. They screw that up all the time. It's like, hey, is another Frenchman here in the league? No, he isn't. Stop with that. He's not from that. He's not from Quebec. Okay, let's make sure we get that clear right now. All right, what the Predators need to get clear is finding a way to get a damn win. They're hosting the Calgary Flames right now. Nashville minus 185 home favorites, 5.5 being the total in this game. Gosh almighty. I cannot lay this price with Nashville. Simple as that. Full stop. No way can I back the Predators here at minus 185 in this game. But the counter to that is you really want to take Calgary on the road right now. They have been a mess of late, away from home, away from the Saddle Dome. All their good games have been at the Saddle Dome. They can't get out of their own way right now on the road. This is absolutely a game pregame. Sidewise, I want nothing to do with it. Totals wise, Calgary feels like an over team on the road. I cannot bet Nashville over right now with the way they're not scoring. This offense is just dead. It's absolutely in the doldrums. It's in the tank. During the 7-game losing streak that they've had, they have not scored more than 2 goals in any game. They have a wretched 11 goals scored in the last 7 games. 11 goals in the last 7 games. It's absolutely terrible. So, this is a pass game for me. Maybe on the betcast tonight we'll find something, but nothing for me pregame. Alex, what do you think here? Calgary, Nashville.
Yeah, can't do anything here. I mean, even with a total, can't go under 5.5 with, like you said, how bad Calgary's been defensively on the road. And like I said, it doesn't matter. And Vladar is actually the better option on the road than Wolf. I look at Wolf's numbers, 1-4. He's got a 82% save percentage on the road. Like, he's been dreadful away from the Saddle Dome. So yeah,
I think it's Darth Vladar tonight, but not confirmed yet.
It is,
by the way.
Yeah, it is Vladar. Yeah, no, yeah. So I saw confirmed on goalie post, but I'm saying either way. you talk about 2 goalies, like I said, their numbers are wretched on the road. You can't back them, but you can't back anything with Nashville right now. And especially, like I said, the problem with these teams when they're struggling and then they lay, like, it's obviously it's more exaggerated with Carolina's 500, 530. But even at 185, we can't look at anything Nashville related because everything's being priced with this team being a high favorite, and they shouldn't be a high favorite at all. So it's funny how with some of these spots, when you start talking past 170, 200, and then of course 300, 400, everything gets thrown out of whack now. So you can't even find good team totals or any kind of other value. It's just a pass game or wait for something live.
I would agree with that. No doubt. This maybe on the betcast something pops up. I catch something while I'm watching the game, and it could happen. That's why it's a bet. This is a great betcast game. As in, I hate it pregame. It doesn't mean we can't bet it live if something appeals to us. Ryan, what do you think here? Calgary, Nashville.
Yeah, I honestly, this is a game I'm interested in watching just because I know Dallas plays Nashville next on Thursday in Dallas. So interested to see how Nashville looks tonight, especially being at home. I don't have anything. I don't have anything pregame right now, so this is one I'm honestly just gonna be watching live, wait and see what happens, and jump in. I'm looking at some of the first period props right now just to see if there's anything that really jumps out to me that I like. Nashville to score a goal in the first is minus 180. Don't like the value there, so. Honestly, probably just going to stay off of everything. I don't really see anything that jumps out at me right now, so I'm just going to wait and see if I like anything live.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not even crazy about the props here in this game as far as goal props are concerned. That being said, I still think Pospisil and Coronado for Calgary, they're on the top 2 lines right now. There is some value with them. They haven't been popping of late as far as scoring, but there is definitely some value on those 2 being in the top 6 right now. All right, Boston and Winnipeg. Winnipeg Jets minus 135, home favorites, 5.5 the total here in this game. Look, Boston under Joe Sacco, it's been more good than bad for sure. They've won 4 in a row. Overall, since Sacco took over, they're 7-2 in the 9 games since the coaching change. Now, again, has their schedule been pretty light? The wins were Utah, Detroit when they were struggling, Islanders who were struggling, Montreal when they were struggling, Detroit when they were struggling, Chicago, Philadelphia, the goaltender we don't like. I mean, they have just not faced anybody even close to in the stratosphere of Winnipeg. That's the concern with back in the Bruins tonight. Like, Winnipeg's a step up from anybody they've faced here in recent games. And you do have Winnipeg off a home loss to Columbus. Talked about how the schedule caught up with them in that spot. All the travel, basically 1 month straight of traveling on the road consistently for the Jets. This is Jets or pass for me. I just don't like the price enough. And with the BetCast, we can take Winnipeg live if Boston has the lead at some point, which is my thought process, which will be my approach, is if the Bruins get an early lead, we will look toward Winnipeg live. And if they don't, and Winnipeg gets the lead and keeps the lead, then we'll just lay off and we'll just let it go. What I do like, though, is the first period over. We have 4 straight first period overs for Boston coming into this game. I think Winnipeg, off of just a 1-goal effort at home against Columbus on Sunday, push for offense early in the game from the Jets. I would expect that. So I like the first period over here. Just the first period over, by the way, not the full game. Alex, what do you think here? Bruins, Jets.
Yep, I'm going to play the first period over small, look to add a little bit more as this crosses over into the plus money threshold early into the start. And like I said, we hopefully see some good pace, but I do believe we could see some good back and forth action. And it might, I don't know, it depends. If it gets to maybe 5.5 plus 150, I might grab a little piece of that over. But right now, at 5.5, we're laying $1.20, $1.25. I'll wait to add anything onto that during the betcast tonight.
Yeah, Pasta's in, Aaron. Pasta is
and moved up to the top line. Yeah,
yep.
He was at the second line the other night, or last time he was back, he was out. He's now up to the top line as well. So.
Yeah, no change injury-wise. The guys that have been out for a long time with both teams are still out. Lindholm for the Bruins on the blue line, and both Ehlers and Sandberg are still out for the Jets going into this one. So Swayman and Hellebuck is the goaltending matchup here. And look, Hellebuck's been obviously very good all year. Swayman's playing his best hockey since Sacco came there. He's definitely played a lot better. But, again, 4 straight overs in the first period for the Bruins. And Winnipeg off a 1-goal performance against Columbus. That's why I like the goals early in this game, at least the 2 that we need for the first period to go over. What do you think here, Ryan? Boston, Winnipeg.
Yeah, so this is a spot that I picked out last night that I feel pretty strongly about. I actually like Winnipeg a lot. I got them at like minus 130 before it moved. I just think, they lost to Columbus at home a couple days ago. It's going to be unacceptable with them. They're going to want to bounce back. Boston had to travel across the country. They've been better with that new coach. Starting to find their game a little bit, but I'm still not sold on them yet. I want to see a little bit more out of them. So I just think, yes, Winnipeg will have to come down. They're not going to be able to keep that win percentage up the entire year, but they are going to want to bounce back, especially after losing to Columbus. So I think minus 130 is really good value for Winnipeg, especially with Hellebuck confirmed. So this is one of the few spots tonight that I feel pretty strongly about. I could easily see Boston winning as well. It's just kind of the gut feeling that Winnipeg, this is a good bounce back spot for them, after not having a strong performance at home. So that's where I am here with this. Might take a small shot with the I lean the first period over with you as well. But in terms of pregame right now, I'm just on Winnipeg.
All right, next up, we've got Tampa Bay and Edmonton. This is one of the spotlight games for sure tonight. Whenever these two teams meet up consistently the last few years, obviously 2 of the better teams in the league. Edmonton minus 150, home favorites, 6.5 being the total here in this game. The Oilers back-to-back home wins to start this homestand. 6-3 against Columbus, 4-2 against St. Louis, 5-1 in their last 6 games. So it's been a nice run here for this Oilers team. You're seeing that they're starting to get both sides of the puck are really starting to get going for them. Offensively, this team has scored 4 goals or more in 5 of the last 6 games. In fact, go back for 5 of the last 6 games they've scored 4 or more, which has been good to see. And then defensively and as well in net, Skinner, he's been good lately for the Oilers, no question. Tampa Bay started this Western road trip in the win column with a 4-2 win against Vancouver on Sunday. There are a couple of injuries. Eric Chernak on the blue line and Anthony Cirelli as well was not able to finish the Vancouver game Sunday. Doubtful is the last word. Cirelli's status tonight. So Chernak for sure is out, and Cirelli is doubtful here for the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight in this game. And Cirelli, you miss his offense. Yes, 11 goals, 13 assists. You miss his defense. He's a terrific defensive player as well. And you know that with Chernak, definitely what he doesn't give you much offensively, but he's a shot blocking machine. Already 33 blocked shots in the 25 games this year. That's huge. And again, Chernak's defensive prowess is evident. There's no doubt. I like the way Edmonton's going. I don't like the price, though, at -150. I lean Oilers. But again, I'm going to look maybe for Edmonton live during the betcast. Tampa gets a lead. Maybe then we'll jump in on Edmonton. What I do like in this game is look at the way Edmonton's played at home. Last few games, we saw 4-2, 6-3, 6-2, 5-3. 4 straight home games here for the Oilers have gotten at least 6 total goals. They've all gone over. Actually, 3-1 to the over. Look at series history. Lightning versus Oilers. 3 straight overs. 5-3, 6-4, 7-4. 2 of those games right here at Rogers Place in Edmonton. All 3 of those games went over the last 3 head-to-head meetings for the full game. They also, all 3 of those games went over in the first period as well. For the Lightning versus the Oilers in the last 3 head-to-head meetings. So for whatever reason, when these 2 teams meet up, we see goals. And I think we're going to see that again tonight. So I do like the over bifecta here with the Lightning and the Oilers. Over 1.5 first period, over 6.5 full game. Alex, what do you think here? Lightning, Oilers.
Yeah, this is interesting. It's kind of one of those games that you debate and look and see if you like the over, but you also like a side. This might be a good BetMGM game. Looking at those parlays, those kind of maybe mulling over. Lightning, they said history 7-3 the last 10. You look at Lightning to win and over 4.5 at +150. Lightning to win over 5.5 +225. So maybe I'll dab on a couple of those. But like I said, this being a later game, this is probably one I'll also be saving for the live bet as well. Like I said, the pregame bet's kind of small tonight. Like I said, there's a lot of good matchups that I want to see things kind of play out in the first couple minutes, even up to the first period, full period, before making any bets tonight.
And Vasilevsky has started the last 2 times in Edmonton. And in those games, we saw, obviously, Edmonton score 5 and score 4 in those. So Vasilevsky hasn't fared as well against the Oilers. This is a team that's given him some trouble in the past. So, yeah, I think overs are probably in the offing here tonight with this one. All right, what do you think here, Ryan? Lightning, Oilers.
Yeah, I'm on that first period over as well as a small shot with the full game over. I know you mentioned that's kind of been a trend with these 2 teams going over. I don't know. This is a tough pick'em spot for me. I think I kind of lean the Tampa Bay. I know they've kind of dominated the series against Edmonton and Edmonton as of late. But I think Bailey or someone mentioned they could see the Oilers showing up at home. I definitely could see that as well. I just think I feel comfortable with the first period over with the firepower these teams have. You know, if there's an early power play or something like that, we see a quick strike. So taking a small shot on the first period over, as well as leaning towards the total full game over. In terms of player props, I do like that Draisaitl anytime goal. Actually, I've had some success with him. So I think these star players, whenever they're playing other stars like Kucherov and McDavid and Draisaitl, those guys want to show that they're still at the top of the list. So I see Draisaitl at +135 anytime goal, as well as Kucherov's. I see him over 3.5 shots at +130. I think I'm going to take a small shot with that as well. So that's all for me. I will be looking, like Alex said, this will be one that I'm paying close attention to and watching really closely on the betcast. So I think there will be more spots to jump in live as this game gets going.
Yeah, this will be a fun game to have on the betcast for sure. No question about that. Couple props I like. I like Connor Geekie. That's right, Morgan's little brother for Tampa Bay. Connor Geekie. I like Nick Paul as well. Obviously, Kucherov, 3 points in his return to the lineup for Tampa Bay against Vancouver. Just picking up right where he left off. For Edmonton, I'm going back to the well with Vasily Podkolzin to find the back of the net up on the second line with Draisaitl. I think Kapanen, the other winger on Draisaitl's line, worth a look. And I'm going with the old man, Corey Perry, tonight against one of his many former teams, the Tampa Bay Lightning. And Corey Perry, I think, did score last game for the Edmonton Oilers as well. So hopefully Corey Perry returns to the forefront here tonight for Edmonton in this one. All right, next up, this is Minnesota and Utah. We've got the Wild. Actually, it's pretty much pick 'em now. Even money, both sides, -110. The total sitting at 5.5, shaded to the over in this game. This, by the way, is the second game of a ESPN Plus doubleheader tonight. ESPN Plus does have a doubleheader, and this is the second of the two games in the doubleheader. This one will be Mike Monaco and Cassie Campbell, Pascal. And the first game with Leafs Devils, I forgot to mention, is also ESPN Plus exclusive. And that game will have Bob Wischusen and Alex's shout-out friend, Kevin Weeks, will be working with Bobby on the Leafs and Devils game tonight for ESPN Plus. This game, as far as it's concerned, I think it's a tricky little spot here for Utah. They're off the back-to-back road wins to end the road trip against Philly and Buffalo, and now they return home from those two games over the weekends. Think about the spot, too. It's third game in 4 nights. They played Saturday afternoon in Buffalo, Sunday night in Philly, and now you're turning around playing in Utah at home, third game in 4 nights. Now they're used to the thin air and altitude. They played a bunch of games now at Delta Center, but still doesn't make it any easier. You got Minnesota off a 4-1 loss to the LA Kings. You don't need to think too hard how many times Minnesota has lost 2 games or more in a row. It hasn't happened very often. They still have a phenomenal road record this year, 11-2-3 for the Wild away from home. I like Minnesota here in this spot, even money, -110. Tough spot, I think, a little bit for Utah, and they are still without a couple on the blue line, and Vejmelka will be in net. He's playing a lot of hockey right now, and he has to because of the injury to Ingram. So Vejmelka back in net. He's got very good numbers, believe it or not, but so does Philip Gustafsson, who is projected to be in net for the Wild. He's been absolutely outstanding. So I do like Minnesota here, -110. I lean under. Actually, I don't like my unders, but I do kind of feel like with the 2 goalies and the form they're in, might see a little bit of a lower scoring affair here with the Wild and the Hockey Club here tonight. What do you think here, Alex? Minnesota, Utah.
Yeah, under is an interesting look, but when you talk about Karel Vejmelka getting the start against the Wild, he is 3-3 with a 3.34 goals against average and an 8.98 save percentage.
Oh, that's not great.
It's not that good. And keep in mind, this is this Utah team. They are the Yotes in generic clothing. When they were the Arizona Coyotes, Minnesota won 17 of the last 22 meetings against them. So they've dominated this group that has now moved to a different state and city. I like Minnesota here. I think this is a cheap price. I got -$1.05 at BetMGM. Anything totals wise, we can add during the betcast tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. Now they're still playing with 2 key pieces here with Eriksson Ek and Brodin both still out.
It hasn't mattered all year.
I know they found a way.
They've been finding a way all year. I mean, they had Kaprizov. Every top 6 forward has been hurt, and 3 of the top 4 defensemen have been hurt. And yeah. I think wasn't Fleury banged up for a minute too? They've had all the injuries that we literally talked about and worried about at the season preview, and they've been able to navigate it just fine. It's incredible.
Yeah, it has been. It's been an outstanding job by the team, and I got to give John Hines credit. He's out of my doghouse for a little bit. He's done a nice job this year. You can't deny it. Got to admit it. When a guy that is doing a nice job coaching and keeping the team playing well through injuries, and right now that is happening, no question, with the Minnesota Wild, and John Hines deserves some credit for that as well. Ryan, what do you think here? Wild and Utah Hockey Club.
Yeah, I like the Wild in this spot. As you mentioned, it's kind of a tricky spot for Utah coming off a road trip, first game back home. Minnesota's already been on the road, so they're just in the middle of the grind. So I think it's not a bad spot for them. I'm pretty much, other than that, I'm staying off in terms of sides. I do have a couple point props that I like. I like the kids on Utah. I like Cooley and Gunther. Cooley's +110 for anytime point. I see Gunther's -110. Those 2 on the top 2 lines and power play units. I really like watching those 2 play. Saw them a couple weeks ago against Dallas. They're just so creative and get so many scoring opportunities. They generate off the rush, generate down low. So I think with the amount of ice time they get and the opportunity, they're playing with some pretty special players and, Clayton Keller and guys like that. So I think they're going to get their looks. I like the Cooley and Gunther point props, especially with Cooley being plus money. So just small shots on those. But other than that, I'm going to be looking for more opportunity to hop in here live.
Like I say, for props for Minnesota, I mean, it's obvious, but that top line's been great. There's no question. When you're talking about Kaprizov, Rossi, and Boldy, they've been absolutely phenomenal. I wouldn't overthink it. if you're going to like Minnesota props, those are the players you want to be looking toward. I want to look toward Logan Cooley because he has really started. He's not cool right now. He's hot. He's eating up. We've got 4 goals in the last 7 games for the Utah Hockey Club. He's been an absolute tremendous of late. We've been waiting for him to get kick-started into high gear from a goal-scoring standpoint, and he is doing that right now for the Utah Hockey Club. So I do like, even though I like Minnesota in the game, I really do like Logan Cooley to find the back of the net. He's been very good of late. All right, St. Louis, Vancouver. We've got the Canucks minus 170, home favorites, 5.5 the total. This is the much-anticipated return of Thatcher Demko, his first start of the season for the Vancouver Canucks tonight. I know they're happy to have him back. All due respect, though, and credit, and they should give all the flowers to Kevin Lankinen and the job he did with Demko out for the first part of the season. He was absolutely outstanding and gave Vancouver a chance to win every night. But Demko will get the nod here for the Vancouver Canucks. Jordan Binnington projected as the goalie here for the St. Louis Blues, who lost, I believe, just their second game under Jim Montgomery with a 4-2 loss to Edmonton. Still with the overall 4-2 record since the coaching change, and still 4-1 as a road underdog since the coaching change as well. I'm going to take St. Louis one more time. I'm not out with St. Louis until I lose 2 in a row. And since I've started riding the Blues with the Jim Montgomery, with the coaching change and Jim Montgomery taking over, I have been on St. Louis every game, and my approach was going to be I will not stop the approach of betting on St. Louis every game until I lose 2 in a row with them. That has not happened yet. Now, if it does happen tonight, then maybe we'll jump off. But we will jump in with St. Louis one more time. Plus, I think we're getting a better price with St. Louis and a worse price on Vancouver because they're adjusting to Demko's return. Well, Demko hasn't played all year. Demko had no training camp. Demko's straight off the fucking surgery table and now basically back on the ice here in his first start of the year. So can we trust Demko to be on top of his game and in his absolute best form tonight? I'm not so sure about that. I'm going to have to see it before I believe it. So I do like St. Louis here. One more time, riding the Blues. 4-1 as a dog, a road dog, since Jim Montgomery took over. St. Louis for me. Alex, what do you think? Blues, Canucks?
Yeah, like I said, this is way too inflated of a price for Demko's first start. We were kind of anticipating that it could, would be coming at some point. And we were saying that maybe look at first period overs as well. Now that's something I'll wait for in the bet cast, but I'm going to definitely grab. I see plus 145, plus 150, and shop around for that. But I will grab at least a half a unit on St. Louis money line, and then we'll make adjustments in game from there.
No doubt. He will not be bargain bin special for a record-setting 4th time in a row tonight, but I am, of course, betting Dylan Holloway one more time.
Right.
Holloway,
got to roll with
one more time. Got to roll with it. He has been absolutely outstanding for the Blues. Of course, he scored against his former team, the Edmonton Oilers, on Saturday night. We figured that had to happen, and you're still getting plus 420. They've adjusted a little bit finally. The prices are more in the 300s now with Dylan instead of 400, 500, but you can actually still get 425 at Bet365 and 410 at FanDuel. So you actually still have some good prices out there with Dylan Holloway, the way he's rolling right now for the St. Louis Blues, no question. Ryan, what do you think here? Blues, Canucks?
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Jim Montgomery. It's kind of sparked this team since the change. So until they lose 2 in a row, I'm going to take a small shot on them. I thought about taking a small shot on Thatcher Demko, either saves or like under 2.5 goals. Just kind of as, not sure what we'll get. He could come out and be great and give him a big boost, or come out and let in 2-3 in the first period and look kind of shaky. So decided not to do that, but just a small shot on Blues money line for me. And then I like those player props that have been hot as well. I think Holloway and some of the guys like that. So take small chances on them for anytime goals as well.
Yeah, won't you be? My neighbor starting to heat up too. Jake Neighbors, Zach Bolduc, keep an eye on him. He's actually someone that's picked things up since Monty took over as well. And then on the Vancouver side, obviously, when you look at their lineup tonight, DeBrusk's been on fire. Pius Suter, I mean, this guy's become on a bit of a heater right now as well for the Vancouver Canucks. So, like I said, definitely a couple of props there that stand out to me with the way they're playing right now. Suter and DeBrusk in particular for the Vancouver Canucks. All right, final game. And this is what I love about our betcast tonight. We've got 2 very intriguing late games. These 2 late games, I'm interested in both of them. St. Louis is playing better. Vancouver's got Demko back. That's a game I'm interested to watch. Same with this one. Florida Panthers and the Seattle Kraken. We've got Florida minus 190, road favorites, 6 the total here in this one. The Seattle Kraken return home off a very successful road trip, and maybe getting on the road is just what the doctor ordered for Dan Bilesma's struggling team, because that was ugly going into that trip where they went 1-4. They lose to LA, they lose a game to Anaheim, and they lose both games to San Jose. I think that was rock bottom for them, where it was like, wait a minute, we got to shape up here. We can't be doing that. We can't be losing 12-7 combined score to the San Jose Sharks in back-to-back games. And boy, oh boy, you know what coincided with it? Getting on the road and getting Vince Dunn back. We've talked about this now for multiple games in a row. It coincided with Vince Dunn's return on the blue line, the puck movement, the ability to get the offense going now all of a sudden with Vince Dunn on the ice. And look what it did for this Kraken team. They scored a grand total of 18 goals in the 4 road games, 3-1 with wins against the Hurricanes, Islanders, and the Rangers. And the one game they lost was on a back-to-back against New Jersey, 3-2. No shame in that. So very, very solid road trip. Now they're back home, though. First game off that roadie. Not the greatest spot here for Seattle, and a road, and Climate Pledge Arena, 7-7. Just a mediocre 500 record for the Kraken at home. Florida 8-5 on the road. Florida 5-1 in their last 6 games. But when I watch Florida, their game's not at A+ level right now. I know they got the back-to-back wins against Carolina. Those 3 wins they had to start this little 5-1 stretch were very good. Toronto and the 2 wins against Carolina, they did play very well in those games. The Pittsburgh game, I didn't love their game. The Philly game, I didn't love their game. And even the San Jose game, I didn't love the way they played. So we'll see how they fare here in this one. You look at this Florida team, they've also done their share of traveling as well since late November. They've traveled every game. So I'm not rushing to lay $1.90 with Florida, but Seattle in this spot off the road trip, don't really want to back them either. It's a good game to observe with the betcast tonight. See how it plays out, no question, and maybe roll from there. One thing I can tell you about Seattle is that in 4 games on that road trip from the Seattle Kraken, we saw the first period over hit in all 4. I do like that. First period over here, Florida and Seattle. Lean full game over, but I definitely like the first period portion of that more at this point in time. Again, since Vince Dunn's back, they've been a first period over machine. And they've been okay with the full game over, too, which is why it isn't over by Fecta, but I like the first period over part of that more. And I like Brandon Montour tonight for Seattle. Why not? It's a guy that won a Stanley Cup there in Florida, gets to play his old team, the Florida Panthers tonight. Why not? Maybe a little more aggressive, shoot the puck a little bit more. You know how you get. You get a little more antsy, more bees in the bonnet, if you will, when you play against your old team, and you can get upwards of plus 650 for Brandon Montour to score a goal tonight. Just to get an assist, by the way, plus 225. Pretty good price for Brandon Montour assist as well. Like, he's going to want to make an offensive impact tonight. No question. I know it's been a bit of a, kind of a disappointing year, let's be honest, so far for Brandon Montour in Seattle. But against his old team, the Florida Panthers, got a lot of connections and ties to everybody still on that team. Brothers for life after winning a Stanley Cup. I could definitely see Brandon Montour getting on the scoreboard tonight. Not just an assist, but a goal possibly as well. So I like both of those. Plus 650 goal, plus 225 assist. You hit one of them, it's profit. Alex, what do you think here? Florida, Seattle.
Yeah, like I said, this is the late game, so I'll also be waiting kind of to add a little bit more. But I do like first period over and full game. Pregame, I got 5.5. I laid the 134, but like I said, playing it small pregame at FanDuel, but then also grab that over 1.5. So I would recommend betting those pregame and then just adding a little bit more as we adjust for the betcast. That's the last game to start of the night.
All right, good stuff. Ryan, what do you think? Last game, Florida, Seattle.
Yeah, this one's just a pass for me. Just gonna see if there's any good spots that you guys see on the betcast live and take, but pregame I'm not touching minus 190 and also not too interested in Seattle. So I'm staying off this game overall.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Like I said, they scored the 2 goals against New Jersey, but so team total actually seemed, a little interesting to me too. I do lean to that Kraken team total, 2.5 at minus 110. That's not bad. Again, it's a night and day difference for the Kraken, offensively with Dunn on the blue line. It's clear. You can see it in their play since he's been back. So I think there might be a little value to Seattle team total over 2.5 tonight. Certainly, I would prefer that than taking Seattle on the money line. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. We're looking forward to the live betcast tonight. It's a great card, and it's great because it's not just betting-wise, it's a good card. Viewing-wise, it's a good card. You know how many games I'm just very intrigued to watch tonight across the board. Even Calgary-Nashville, a bit of a sick game, but nevertheless, Calgary can't win on the road. Nashville can't win, period, right now. So what's going to give in that game? So many interesting plot lines tonight. So we're looking forward to the live betcast tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Looking forward to that. Again, DM or email me or Alex for a spot on the betcast tonight. And we will send you the link before it begins, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Looking forward to the live betcast. We're also excited about keep seeing the Patreon numbers climb with our members at the Patreon page, patreon.com/iceguys. Again, just $10 per month. We've got obviously a player suite show being uploaded at the end of the week, goalie charts, totals charts, betting card posted each and every day, sides, totals, and player props posted each day on the Patreon page. All of that and more, just $10 per month. We got live betcasts exclusively for Patreon members coming up in the new year. All that and more for just $10 per month. Your subscription goes a long way to supporting the show. So make sure you sign up. We're closing in on 200 Patreon members. $10 per month, patreon.com/iceguys.
Also, check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. This is the week to get things. If you want to get gifts for your loved ones, gifts for yourself, stuff under the Christmas tree, now's the time to order it. Do not miss out. Just go to the website, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. We've got just about everything in stock. I know some things that are kind of pick and choose with sizes, but we should have the majority of what you want and what you're looking for in stock right now and get it just in time for the holidays. That's iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
There it is. Check it out. Like I say, now's the time to lock in your order if you want to get what you order before Christmas Day for sure. All right, we've got Bargain Bin Special of the night and Best Bets coming up in a moment right after we hear from our great Ice Guys sponsors.
Support for the Ice Guys podcast is provided by Boston Hemp Incorporated, Manscaped, Power Play Sportsman, Raise Your Game, Tailgaters Social, and a big thank you to all that subscribe to the Ice Guys Patreon page. Everyone loves a perfect pair. Bacon and eggs. Thunder and lightning. Mario and Luigi. A hot dog with fries. Ian and Alex B. That's right. Everyone loves a perfect pair. So why not pair up your game nights with Boston Hemp? From exotic flower to concentrates and edible products. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better pairing than Boston Hemp and hockey. Check them out today at bostonhempinc.com. That's bostonhempinc.com. Boston Hemp Incorporated, the official smoke sponsor of the Ice Guys. Void where prohibited by law. Not available outside of the United States. Must be 21 or over to obtain products. Check your local regulations to see if Boston Hemp is available in your area.
All right, shout out to all our great sponsors, including Boston Hemp Inc. Make sure you check them out. 20% off on the site using the promo code ICEGUYS at bostonhempinc.com. All right, bargain bin special of the night. A 2-0 sweep, man. Very, very difficult to follow that up, but follow that up we must. Well, I don't know about must, but we will try. That is for sure. But yeah, nice to have them both. Tyler Bertuzzi for Chicago last night scoring, and of course Lane Hudson with the power play point for the bargain bin sweep last night. See what we can find for an encore. Alex, what do you like in the bargain bin?
No, I agree. Follow it up, we must. That's the way I'm going to look at it. And tonight we got a game starting off the card, Toronto and New Jersey. I mentioned that Stefan Nason, they're holding him back. He's at plus 290 at FanDuel. He's not in that bargain bin range. Well, main reason for that is he's actually dropping down to the third line. Moving up to the second line is Dawson Mercer, who is plus 430 anytime goal scorer at FanDuel. That's going to be my shot for the bargain bin tonight this Tuesday. Dawson Mercer, anytime goal scorer, plus 430 for the New Jersey Devils. It's available at FanDuel. That's my Tuesday bargain bin.
That's a really good one because every time he gets an opportunity, it seems on that top six, he takes advantage of it. So Dawson Mercer, the man from Newfoundland, plus 430 for the New Jersey Devils for Alex with his bargain bin special of the night. Ryan, what do you got for the bargain bin?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with my good buddy, Alex Laferriere, anytime goal, plus 330. He's from Chatham, New Jersey, which is, a little bit of ways from Long Island, but I know while he's on this Northeast swing, he's going to have friends and family there. So all these teams that he grew up watching, the Rangers, the Islanders, the Devils, stuff like that, he's going to want to score against them. So I feel like he has a good shot tonight. Alex Laferriere, plus 330, anytime goal is my bargain bin special of the night.
All right, there we go. Alex Laferriere. Shake that laffy taffy. There we go. Alex Laferriere for the LA Kings for bargain bin special of the night for Ryan Robinson. All right, my bargain bin special of the night. Let's go back to the last game. I'm going to go with Brandon Montour. It's just a feel for me here tonight. I think he's got a real shot here. Plus 625, plus 650 at FanDuel for him to find the back of the net tonight. Great price. We're going for a little bit of a bigger bang here tonight with the bargain bin special of the night. But let's go with Brandon Montour. I know this year, it's been a little up and down, a little rocky for him with Seattle, his new team this year. He does still have 7 goals, though, so far this year in 28 games. So he scored in a quarter, of Seattle's games this year. Brandon Montour. So plus 650. I like it against his old team. Maybe shoot the puck a little bit more. That would not surprise me. So Brandon Montour, Seattle, plus 650 for my bargain bin special of the night. All right, best bets. Alex, what do you like for best bet?
We're going to head out to Salt Lake City, Utah. Like I said, and now the Utah Hockey Club. But before they were the Arizona Coyotes, they were getting dominated by the Minnesota Wild. They had lost 17 of the last 22 meetings. As their first meeting now as the Utah Hockey Club. So give me the Minnesota Wild minus $1.05 on the money line. The fighting Terry Edelmans take care of business on the road tonight. That's my best bet.
No doubt. He'd appreciate you calling them that too, I'm sure. Yeah, Minnesota against Utah. Minnesota money line minus 110. Best bet for Alex B. Smith. Ryan, what do you like for best bet?
Yeah, I liked that game as well. But for my best bet, I'm going to go up to the Great White North and take Winnipeg money line minus 135 over Boston. I feel like it's a good spot for them. They're going to want to bounce back at home. Boston's had to travel. Hellebuck is confirmed. He's going to want to be solid. So feel good about him. Winnipeg Jets minus 135 money line is my best bet today.
All right, Winnipeg Jets, and you certainly have them in a focus spot off a loss to Columbus on Sunday. Winnipeg minus 135. Best bet for Ryan Robinson for this Tuesday slate. My best bet for this Tuesday slate, there's a lot of good choices here, but I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Edmonton 6.5 over. I think we're going to see goals. We got 3 straight overs head to head with these two teams, and 3 straight first period overs as well. By the way, in the last 3 meetings, but we'll rock with that full game over with the Lightning and the Oilers. Tonight, 6.5. Tampa Bay Edmonton over 6.5 minus 115 for my best bet here for this Tuesday card. That's a wrap for the Tuesday show, but it is not a wrap for the Ice Guys on this Tuesday because we're back tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time with the live betcast. We are looking forward to it. 7 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you join us. We've got a lot of people that have already put their name in and requested to be on the betcast tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing Chris Otto. It's been a while since we had Chris Otto, the totals chart guru, joining us here on the betcast tonight. Melissa's going to be joining us for a little bit as well.
We got a few guests coming tonight, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, we do. We've got a good slate. We got a good group coming tonight. The Robinsons will be in the house. Ryan's roommate too. I mean, everybody. So it's going to be a heck of a betcast. Looking
Make
forward
sure you're
to
stocked up.
Oh yeah, this is our last one for the year. It's like a Christmas party tonight, so a little more boozing than normal, and we'll be on for the whole night through all the games, including the late games. So we got 2 good late games tonight: Blues, Canucks, and Panthers, Kraken. So looking forward to obviously the night ahead. Make sure you join us 7 p.m. Eastern in just a few hours. Can't wait for it. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Tuesday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex B. Smith and Ryan Robinson, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Tuesday, and we will see you in just 3.5 hours from now, 7:00 p.m. Eastern time for the Ice Guys live betcast coming up, and then again tomorrow on Wednesday for another edition of the Ice Guys.